for those. I think our system is very keen on us recording all these sessions because the next session is going to be very, very exciting. Dan, if you can hear me, you need to unmute yourself. This session is, we want to discuss about how to handle objections in our business. Because one of the challenging things about our business is when prospects or distributors who are having challenges and they don't know what to do or what to say to get their business running. So today we have Dan Odero, who has just started our business. And Dan, how has been your first week in the business?
Thank you, Pascal. It's been very good. I'm excited about the business. When I saw how much you've done, I want to do the same, but I've got a few questions. Somebody was asking me some questions which are a bit difficult. Like someone was asking me, this thing looks like a pyramid scheme. I mean, it's nice, but this pyramid scheme, I've lost money.
Okay, your volume is quite low.
Okay. Let me try to get it better. Is that better?
A little bit more.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I was just saying that it's likely, but some people are saying, and it looked like a bit of a pyramid scheme because there are many of these ones which are going around and people have lost money. I was not sure what to say.
If it's a pyramid scheme or not, I think first of all, maybe what did they understand, or what do you understand by a pyramid scheme?
People at the top, like yourself, make all the money, but others down here, you don't make any money.
Okay, I think that the objection about a pyramid scheme, I've come across it a number of times. But in any case, if you look at the government of South Africa, that's a pyramid scheme, because in any one time there's only one president. You can't have two or three. Our business is different, but the essential difference between a pyramid scheme and our business is three issues. Number one, in a pyramid scheme, there is no product or service that is provided to the public.
Yeah.
A pyramid scheme, people pay money and they don't know why they're paying money. Number two, network marketing or our business, our company is registered with the Direct Selling Association, which is a watchdog of our industry. Any company that is doing our business must be registered with the Direct Selling Association as a watchdog. If you go to any pyramid scheme and you ask them if there's any regulatory body, they don't have. The third element about pyramid scheme is that the people who start the business always are the ones who win or gain the best. But in our business, we've got people in our team who are earning more than Betty and myself, right? Because they have built the correct structure. So I think when you get people who say it's a pyramid scheme, I think it's just lack of understanding our business is, or what you know, that this is actually a business which provides products to the public. For example, Betty and I have used Omega-3, we've used LDC for the last 27 years. So every month we buy these products to use.
Okay. Yes. Someone was also saying that we should have joined earlier. I should have joined earlier like you. You joined 27 years ago. Now for us who joined later, we will never catch up. We will not make so much money as you have made.
Okay, I think that comes from the lack of understanding of the compensation plan. When people start the business, they need to be taken through the compensation plan, how the business is built. I can give you a very... Okay, somebody's saying there's too much noise in the background. Maybe after you've spoken, just mute. If you want to answer a question, then you can. Yes, that's okay. So they say the people who start the business are the ones who win in the business. I can give you a number of examples. For example, we've got somebody in a team called Charles and Judy Njeru. They started almost 6 or 7 years after we started, but they earn more money than we do. Okay? Another example is Josfat and Pierrot's Karaoke. Very good leaders in our team. They started the business almost 10 years after we've started, and they've built a better business than ourselves. So it's not the person who starts the business that becomes successful, but is the one who works the hardest and builds a better. I hope that addresses the question of people who start the business first are the ones who win.
Yes, that's okay. I understand that. Another thing is also, I love the business is good, but the products, fantastic, are so expensive compared to what we have in the market. And Kenya this time is having difficulties. How can we afford or get customers who can afford these expensive products?
Yeah, you know, when Betty and I started the business, I remember very well, as if it was yesterday. They brought our kit. At that time, the kit was 425 Rand. It's about 4,000 shillings, Kenya shillings. And you would get NutriShake, you would get Formula 4, you would get LDC, you would get Super 10, and then you'll get aloe vera gel. And I remember seeing the price of NutriShake. At that time, it was 90 Rand. 90 Rand is an equivalent of about 700 Kenya shillings. And I thought to myself, who the hell is going to buy this product? 27 years later, in South Africa, NutriShake is now 713 Rand. And that's an equivalent of about 4,000 shillings. People are still buying. The thing is, I think that if somebody says the prices of a product are very high, could be true. But the other question is this: when you get ill, is money an important issue? The second thing is this: if you go to the roads now and look at the best vehicles on the road, how much is them? Would you say a Mercedes is an expensive car? Mercedes is an expensive car because it is a good car. It's an excellent car. I mean, if you buy one Mercedes now, you'll probably buy another one in 15 to 20 years. If you buy a Toyota Corolla, maybe in those 20 years, you're going to buy 2 or 3 other Toyota Corollas. In the final analysis, which is more expensive? I think that the people saying that our products are expensive is because they don't know the value of the products. Go and speak to somebody who has had arthritis for 10 years and they eat painkillers every single day. And once they use Provitality, they use Full Motion, and within 2 months, the pain is gone. Do you think they're going to say the products are expensive? I think it's just an attitude that people have about the cost of our products. I hope that addresses that issue.
Yes, very well. Thank you. Then there are things that I'm excited. I've talked to so many people. I've talked to people, but everybody is saying, no, they don't want this business. I've talked to even some said they know others who have been in the business, they didn't do well. Who wants this business? Where will I find downlines? Where will I find people to do business with?
Okay. In fact, a friend of mine last week who had just started the business. So I asked him, how is it going? He says, I've spoken to everybody, nobody wants to join the business. And then I thought to myself, the population of South Africa is 55 million people. The working population, let's say, is 18 million. So if you ask the person like that, have you spoken to even 100,000? No. I think the reason why people say they've spoken to a lot of people and nobody's responding is that they are speaking to very few people. That's one. Number two is their level of belief that they can build the business is not there. Because our business is a numbers game. It simply means that for every 10 people you speak to, only 1 to 2 or 3 are going to express an interest. And out of the 10 who express an interest, only 2 to 3 will join the business. So when people say that I've spoken to a lot of people and nobody's interested, it's true because you're speaking to the wrong people. You will eventually find the people to join the business. I mean, if I look at the number of people attending this meeting, there are 313. And there are very many people who are not in this training. So I think that if you ask the right qualifying question, and 2, you ask the dreams of people. Okay, in fact, let me retract. I think the best way to speak to people is asking questions. Because maybe you're giving people a solution which they don't want or which is not suitable with their lives. If you come to me and I've got a health challenge, I want to buy something that helps my arthritis, and you're telling me about a business, I'm not interested in the business. But if you come to me and you tell me that I really need to generate extra income and you want to sell to me a product, the approach is wrong. So I think one of the most effective ways of approaching people is asking questions to find out what really is the need of the prospect. And that comes from asking, 1, what is your dream? What is it that you really want to do in your life or achieve? I spoke to a friend of mine in Kisumu, and her goal is to buy a Range Rover Sport. That is the dream that is exciting her. So if I was going to tell her, do you want to buy products? No, that is not her dream. So I think that one of the best ways to identify the right people is to ask the right question. Even when the people have joined the business, keep asking the question why they joined the business, because they need to be reminded why they're in the business. I think, I hope that addresses that issue about speaking to many people.
Yes, it does. Thank you. But then I see on the product, it's written they are not meant for treatment. Why do they write on the product, these products are not meant for treatment? And we talk about diabetes and things like that. But saying they write on the actual thing on the products. What is that about?
Okay. I think that's a policy the company took about 3 or 4 years ago. Remember that New Life manufactures products that based on the human food chain. What does that mean? It means that the ingredients in the products is supposed to be in our food chain. But because of our lifestyle, you don't get those ingredients in our diet. So when the company puts a label on the product that this is not meant for treatment, it is true because these are not pharmaceutical products. They are health supplements. It simply means that we are taking products that we should be having in our diet, but because our diet doesn't supply all the nutrients, the company, for legal, has to make that disclaimer on the bottles. I saw that in South Africa, the Council for Medicine, they want the company to put that label on the products because we are not doctors. We are not diagnosing this. What we know is that if you don't have certain ingredients in your diet, you're going to have lifestyle-related conditions. That is why those labels are there in our products.
Thank you for that. And then, of course, I see you're doing well, but you've got all the time. For us who are working, you have got time, but I don't have the time. Sometimes I'm busy. I start work early, I'm leave work late. Now you see here, I'm after work, I've come to a place to sit down. Where did you find the time? I have no time.
Okay. By the way, Dan, can I ask you, do you want more time?
Yes, of course. I'd like a lot more time to go and just sleep and relax.
Okay, I'm sorry to disappoint you that you can't get more time. You and I have exactly 24 hours. You sleep 8 hours a day. You spend, let me say, 8 or 9 hours going to work. What do you do with the rest of the time? If you think carefully, I would recommend for you to do what is called a time audit. The next 2 to 3 days, write down what you do since you wake up until you sleep. From the time you get out of bed to the time you go to bed. Do every 1 hour, write down what you have done. When you finish with that exercise, ask yourself, those things that have occupied your time, do they all help you to achieve your dreams? In fact, that short audit will give you a very clear indication on where your priorities are. If some of the things that you do is watch TV, read newspapers, ask yourself, half an hour or 1 hour of watching TV, has that put money in your bank account? If the answer is no, then think again. The things you read, the magazines, the newspapers you read, do they lead you to achieve any of your goals? They don't. So I would suggest that you need to examine how you use your time, because all of us have 24 hours a day. The question is, what do you do with those 24 hours? If you sleep 8 hours, which is a recommended number of hours you need to sleep, 7 to 9 hours if you're an adult, the rest of the time, what do you do? If you're not doing things which achieve your goals, then I think it's an improper use of your time. I hope that answers or addresses your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Just another thing, then I've seen some people who have joined the business, but then they have dropped out. I met a long time ago. It doesn't work. They've left the business. So I'll sponsor, and then they'll go out. So I'll be busy sponsoring all the time, and they leave. How can we stop that, or what do you say about that?
A number of issues. One, most people that I find who join the business and drop out, if you ask them a few questions, it will give you a very clear idea of what happened. In the first, when they joined the business, did they have a dream or a vision of the things they wanted to achieve? Because people who have a dream or a vision will not let it go even when things are tough. So the first thing you need to check, do they have a dream or a vision? Number two, what training system they use to build their business? If they're just being told, talk to people, but how do you talk to people? Your mentor is supposed to hold your hand and teach you how to talk to people. The first 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, they need to talk to people on your behalf, so that when prospects ask questions, because you're more experienced, you can answer on their behalf. The process is transferring the skill and attitude to the new distributor. That's one. Number two, protecting your mind. Most people who start the business and quit, they don't have a regular daily reading of good, positive books. Number one. Number two, they keep company of negative thinking people. This may look very simplistic, but if you spend time with people who are negative, it is just a matter of time before you become negative also. If you spend time with people who are positive, the positivity will rub on you. If you spend, my mom used to tell me that if you walk with thieves, you'll eventually become a thief. It doesn't take a genius to know that. So if you want to be successful, keep company with the people who are successful. And a few other things I would like to mention also. When somebody is new in your business, make sure either the first month or the next month, 2 things have happened. Number one, they've sold a product and made a profit. Number two, they've actually built a business and they've earned a check. Even if it's $2 or $3, it's called a belief check. I remember so clearly as if it was yesterday when Betty and I started. We started on 19th of March in 1996. The end of April, we got our first check. It was 31 Rand, 50 cents, which is about, at that time, it was about 300 shillings. I got very, very excited with that check. Why? Because it proved to me that the system works the way we were taught. I remember I took that check, made a copy of it, and actually framed it. That is called a belief check. So when you introduce new people to the business, make sure that the first month of them joining the business or the second month, they make a profit or they earn a check. That will lock them into the business. So those are a few things that you need to look at to help your people not to quit or to stay longer in the business. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Just the last thing, I think you're lucky you're in South Africa. If I was there, maybe I could have done good business, but in Kenya, Kenya is not different. Kenya things are tough.
Okay, I've had that comment that that attitude is called the green pasture syndrome. We always think the other side of the wall is greener than where we are. But in Kenya, I know that there are new people who have joined for the month of June. I think over 230 people joined in the month of June. The thing is, you carry your attitude everywhere you go. South Africa has got a stronger economy. If that is the reasoning, it means more people have got jobs and they will not look at the business. In Kenya, things are tough. Then people should be looking for the business because they need money. That idea that somewhere else is better than where you are, I think is not correct because you carry your attitude with you wherever you go. In Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria, Cameroon, everywhere there are people who are looking for our business. Everywhere. That I know for a fact. In all these countries, there are new distributors who join every month. So the question is, what is your attitude? What are you doing with the business that has been put on your table? In fact, Betty and I were talking the other day, and she was saying that we really thank God for this business because the choices that we have made have been the right ones. Both Betty and I have been full-time parents. All our children have seen us working the business together. They know that we are business people. They know that we value time. They know the value of discipline. That was only possible because of this business. So wherever market you are, wherever you are, when you take this business seriously, the business will give you serious money. If you take this business as a hobby, you'll get hobby income. The question is, how serious are you with the business? Dan, thank you so much for your questions. I hope those questions and ideas will give some of our distributors on how to deal with the objections that you're going to receive in the marketplace. Just to summarize, there are only two reasons why people are negative or people object to our business. Number one is lack of faith in the industry. Some people don't actually understand and believe in the network marketing industry. I think for me, from what I've read, is the most efficient way of distributing goods and services. The second reason is lack of belief in themselves that they can become successful. Those are the two major reasons why people raise objections. There's no other. So what I would recommend when people raise objections, don't disagree with them. Just accept what they have said because that is their opinion, but give them an alternative. For example, if somebody tells me that the products are expensive, I said, when I started the business, I also felt like that. But I found out that the products are priced like that because they are excellent products. It's called the feel, felt, found rule. I used to feel like that, I felt like that, but I found out something different. So don't argue with your prospect. Tell them a different version of what they are saying so that they can have a different conversation, okay? Because the more you argue with them, the more they get entrenched in their thinking. So I hope that those few ideas will help you to grow your business. Yeah, I think Dan has asked the questions. Thank you so much, Dan. I think everybody, all distributors who are attending this training, at least you've had 3 or 4 or 5 different objections that Dan has asked today. Dan, thank you so much for such a wonderful, wonderful question. I hope that this has helped you to deal with some of the objections you meet in the field and build your business. So, Alan, thank you so much for giving us this platform to exchange our ideas with our distributors. And we really appreciate all of you who are building the business. And thank you so much. I hope this has helped you to deal with the objections that you're going to meet in the business. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you.
Good night.